Uh, yeah, that happened. So, in case you've never watched any of my videos before, my name's Greg. I ride motorbikes and I make videos about them sometimes, but I mainly post reels on Instagram. And I have recently started posting certain reels that I would classify as a rage bait. Now, if you've never heard of the word rage bait before, you're probably wondering, well, what does that mean? And essentially, it's a video that has controversial topics or controversial subjects that will attract people to comment on the video and give their opinions or tell me how I'm doing something wrong or things like that. It's basically engagement farming, right? So obviously, Instagram, to build your following, you need to be able to get your content out there for people to see it and for people to kind of, engage with it. So an engagement is a like, it's a share, it's a comment, and there may be some other ones I'm missing as well. So essentially, what happens is people see my video and they say, wow, that guy's an idiot, he doesn't know how to ride. And obviously, I cut videos up to be a certain way, but I also make mistakes, as every rider, as every car driver does. It's just something that happens, and it's everyday life, and it's just one of these things. Now, obviously, I edit these to look worse than they are, or like make the situation out of context kind of thing. So, for example, here with this video, as you can see, I rev at the guy, I'm distracted. This truck's moved over without signalling, I'm annoyed at him, I rev at him. Cars start moving forward, that van ran through the red light. See, so much happens in this small space of time that I'm processing at the time. But if you listen carefully to this clip here... That was my fault. What an idiot. Started making a reel. Good save though. As you can tell, I am 100% at fault here. There is no way the car's at fault, the lights are at fault, anything like that. But if I cut out that part where I say I'm at fault, it looks like I'm at fault. And it makes people think that I'm arrogant and also a reckless rider. I mean, I can be reckless, but anyway. So the whole point is that clip in itself would have got views and things like that because it's a near miss, and it's quite a bad near miss. And I mean, Porsche Taycan, they're expensive cars, right? So if I caused damage to that by crashing into the back of it, that would have been a very expensive insurance claim. Let's just put it that way. So obviously I got very lucky, right? I used my object avoidance training, which you get in your Model 1, and I managed to swerve very last minute and also brake. If my bike didn't have ABS, that'd be a completely different story, I imagine. But I think, obviously I was expecting the Reels and the TikTok to absolutely go viral, if you like. But I think, one thing that isn't nice that comes with it are the hate comments. So obviously you're going to expect people to be angry at you, people to be taking the piss out of you, all that sort of thing. But I think there's a couple of things that really do annoy me. But before we talk about that, let's have a quick chat about Full Throttle Competitions. It's a competitions company I've started specialising in motorcycles and motorcycle gear. We're currently giving away an RST S1 one-piece leather suit, which costs £449 brand new. And it's currently live on the website. There are, I believe, around 170 tickets remaining. It's £4.99. There's 200 tickets in total. We're going to draw regardless on Wednesday, the 23rd of October. And get a bit under my skin. And I am getting better at not responding to them because that doesn't help things and you end up getting reported and things like that. But it's when people, first of all, when bikers are condescending to you and they talk down to you, and if you see someone that's got a bike in their profile picture and then they comment something really fucking horrible, like, I mean, I'll show some examples up on the screen now. So that's not nice. Second of all, it's when people like are just irrationally angry to the point where they're like, you know, they're literally saying to you like, "Oh, I hope you end up under I think this one about being bolognese or something like that." It's just like, how can you be so angry and wish that on somebody just because you've seen a video of them riding the bike and have a near miss, a slight lapse in judgment, and you know, it happens all the time. If you sit there and say that you're an amazing kind of driver or rider and you've never had issues like this, then I'm sorry, but you're lying to yourself. I have been driving long. I was a driver long before I started riding, and I've been driving since 2014, so 10 years now. I drive a lot as well, so I drive as a job, and in the last sort of 12 months, maybe I've done over 35,000 miles in a car, and then quite a few miles on a bike, and it's you know, I'm a very experienced road user, and I still make mistakes, and lots of people do. You know, you can look out there and think, you know, everybody needs to be perfect, or I'm perfect because of this and that, and yeah, everybody makes mistakes, but the difference is that I'm the one that's posting it and sharing it and uploading it, and that does, you know, in itself bring issues. I get that, but it's just, yeah, it's honestly just nuts. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand how people get so angry over such silly things, like things that don't even impact their lives. I mean, it's just mad. You know, people are crazy, basically. But anyway, let's do this deep dive analysis. There's actually a really good clip coming up, actually, so I'm gonna not talk for a second, but this is a little reel I made as well. But this Ford Ranger here obviously didn't like the double R Fusion in front, merged in front of him, and completely just got up his arse. I jumped in, I was like, "What are you doing?" Obviously revving the tits off it, and yeah, this guy was crazy. So I went up next to him being like, "What are you doing?" And then he swore at me. I was like, "Okay, cool." So follow him for a little bit, and then he brake checks me. So at that point I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to cut this and catch up on this clip in another bit. Right, so jumping straight into this, as you can see, there's a guy on the right hand side bike, and he's asking me to rev it. Of course I rev it, because you've always got to if a kid asks you to, or if anyone asks you to. Also, as I was coming up to this roundabout, I knew that the lights had changed, I knew that traffic was slowing down, but immediately after this guy asked me to rev, I looked back into my lane and I noticed that this truck or van, whatever you want to call it, as people get quite pedantic over, has moved into my lane without indicating. They've not cut me up, realistically, but there is traffic behind them, so they should have indicated. So that annoyed me. So this part here, I'm going to slow down massively just to show what happens, but as I'm overtaking, as I kind of go to filter, I always rev anyway, just to announce my presence, but you know, as you can see in a second, just as I get past the van, if you look in the distance, you see there's a white van that's already gone through the red light. So I was already like, oh, has the light changed? And then you can see as well the Taycan and then the Tiguan, I think it is, on the left. They also start moving as if to follow the white van. So in my head, obviously I've seen the red lights, I've gone round the van, I've took my eyes off them for a second, but I'm kind of thinking, oh, cars are moving, I guess the lights have changed. And then kind of last second, I've looked up again and it's like, oh shit, no, that's red. Let me stop. And obviously you've got the white van that's round the red, and then the Taycan which has gone over the line. So then this is where I have to absolutely slam on and also swerve. Because if I didn't swerve as well, I would have gone straight into that bumper. And, you know, I get down from 15 miles an hour pretty quickly. I mean, 15 miles per hour isn't a lot, but it could definitely cause some damage. Especially with a big lad like me on. It's a lot of weight hitting that bumper. But, I mean, also, if you can see, look at the gravel on the right as well. So, I mean, I did a pretty good job not to lock up in there, because that wouldn't have been fun, even with ABS. But, yeah, this next bit is pretty spicy looking back on it. I mean, obviously I lived through it, but it was very short and I had to get back on with riding, and you didn't really process it at the time, but now I've watched it and in super slow motion. Yeah. This was close. That was my fault. What an idiot. Started making a reel. Good save though. And back to the wonderful hills of North Derbyshire. Yeah, I mean, you know, the takeaways from that. I looked at the van driver as I passed him, took my eyes off what was going on in front of me for a second. I would have been able to see what happened, and I wouldn't have nearly rear-ended a £70,000 Porsche Taycan Turbo S. So yeah, the moral of the story is always pay attention. Don't look away for even a second, because you don't have time on bikes to react. Still beefing this guy. But yeah, no, it's one of those, you know, I messed up, and I will own that, and I will say, and I will upload these videos, and I'll go into depth and criminalize myself if you want, because people will try and say that you're driving without due care and attention, which maybe, yeah, maybe, but it's a momentary lapse in judgment at the end of the day. And I'm making this video to kind of help with the backlash I'm getting. I don't care personally, because I see hate comments online and I just laugh, and I think, you know, what kind of person are you to be believing stuff like that? And but if it was somebody that didn't have such thick skin, maybe it would bother them a bit more. So I think at the end of the day, just think, is this like guy for real? And also, I don't know what I was doing there. And also, is it worthwhile putting this comment? Because there's lots of comments where people have literally seen what other people have said and just decided to say it again, or they want to get their point across. And I've had some nice messages as well. Yeah, they're really, really nice messages from people saying that, oh, like, wrap yourself around a pole and things like that. It's really nice. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up now. It's currently 3:30 a.m. in the morning as I'm recording this. And yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't get another video like this. I will take away that I need to pay more attention and stop looking at stuff that's going on around me rather than what's happening in front of me. And we will strive to improve. I'll see you whenever the next video is.